Alright, hello everyone. Again, I'm coming to you live from deep in the heart of Northern California. We're just maybe a week away from Oregon, if not less. We're in the town of Etna, California. We're at Alderbrook Manor / the Hiker Hut. It's a really excellent place if you come into Etna to stay. He has little bikes that you can go into town. The town of Etna has really everything you need. Post office, it has a grocery store, Dollar General, has a few restaurants. It's really nice, but to get down to business today, we're going to do an update of California Section O, and that's going to be Burney Falls State Park to Mt.Shasta. It's 82 miles, and there's really not much to talk about this. We're in Northern California. We're getting back into classic PCT terrain. This section was a little bit lower elevation at some point, so the bugs were, they're kind of getting up there. Have a lot of nights where you're gonna sleep in your bug net. But we'll get into it. Burney Falls State Park. We went by there. The way the trail worked, we went like 5 or 6 miles past Burney Falls State Park. And the last update, we camped at a pretty nice spot. We got up, and the few days in our 82 miles that we did around high 20s, under 30 miles most days, and it was really nice. This going into Northern California, the views are really nice. You're getting back into classic PCT crest walking around valleys. This section had a little bit more water than the last section around Chester. It's kind of weird because during our 24-hour challenge, it was like a 10 or 11 mile stretch with no water. I had to go down to a place called Lost Creek, which is a really nice water source, but I can't recommend going down there because it's like 500 or 600 feet down, taking these little switchbacks. It's really better to try to go to the water supply, which is like the water cache, which is like 6 miles past that. And Section O, like I said, weather was heating up, but the thing about after you come out of Burney Falls State Park is, you may have seen it a little bit before this, but when you're coming around corners and going around the valley, you just start seeing Mt.Shasta. And it is so large that it just dominates the landscape. I had to get some pictures of it and put them on Instagram. It's still snow covered. It's a 14er, and you just see it for miles on top of miles. I actually heard that you can see it all the way to Ashland, and so far it's pretty true. I mean, you come around some of these mountains and you look a certain direction and Shasta's there just shining in the distance. When we got to the place where this update ends, Mt.Shasta, we wound up getting a ride into Mt.Shasta, and from the town, the mountain is just gigantic. You're setting in some of the restaurants, like we went to Black Bear Diner, and it was just gigantic, like looking out the window. And since there's not a lot of trail update, we'll talk about Mt.Shasta. We went to Mt.Shasta, we went to the Black Bear Diner. We got the Big Daddy burger, which is, I think, 1.25 pounds of beef, and it was like that big. I had to cut mine in half. It was hard to even pick up and eat. It was, it was perfect for a thru hiker. We ended up eating all that, and then we actually wound up the next day going back there for breakfast. It was really good as well. If you go into Mt.Shasta, definitely go to the Black Bear Diner. There's a few options of places to stay in Mt.Shasta. We stayed at the Travel Inn. It's pretty, it's pretty reasonably located. Everything in town. You can also camp behind the gear store. Not sure how much that costs. I think it's free, and they have a good outfitter in Mt.Shasta. But that's pretty much it. We hung out in Mt.Shasta, we walked around, and then the last day we wanted to kind of escape the heat. So we waited until lunchtime. We ate at the pizza buffet, which was okay. It was reasonably priced, and filled up on pizza. And then we hiked out, and we actually ended up getting 17 miles before started at 4, so we got 17 before about 9:30, which was a good day. It's a little bit of a climb out of Mt.Shasta, so getting in the afternoon was ideal for us because the mountain was actually giving us some shade from the sun. We didn't have to do it in, the early or like midday heat from about, 11 to 4 is when it usually gets the hottest and the sun's beating down on you. But that's going to be the update for Section O, and we'll talk to you guys next time.